Hi everyone. Tonight's homework is in your student home connection book, and it's on page 27 and 28. It's about adding and subtracting fractions. And we're going to go through the questions here. But before I start, I want to throw out to all the families, including the students, but the moms and dads in particular, that next week being Thanksgiving, we plan out a meal using actual grocery store ads. So if you have access to picking up some ads at Giant Eagle or Shakers or Target, wherever, Walmart, if you could send those in, that would be much appreciated. Even if you could grab a handful on the way out the store. We use them for a really cool activity coming up that ties into what we're doing in class this week. All right, so back to homework. The first set of directions is to add or subtract these problems. If they come out as an improper fraction, numerator larger than the denominator, then you have to convert it to a mixed number. So here we go. Here are the solutions. You are able to subtract 5/10 minus 4/10, and that comes out to be 1/10. But please don't forget about the 1 whole. It is 1 1/10. It's already a mixed number. 7/4. Take away 3 of those fourths. That leaves you with 4/4. While this is not an improper fraction, it is enough to make 1 whole. We have 4/4, so that would be 1. These two fractions on C do not have the same size pieces. This one is 12ths. They're very small. Thirds are much bigger. So you need to change the denominators, and I will use this space over here to make it a little thinner. So we have 12ths and thirds. And again, I always do the larger number first, and I think, does the 3 make the first multiple of 12, which is possible. You got 3, 6, 9, and 12. They can both change to 12ths. So 4/12 remains, plus, let's see, 2/3 is going to change to 12. So it's like a ratio table we've done it, boys and girls. 3 times 4 is 12. So 2 times 4 is 8. So it's going to make 8/12. And we still have the 1 whole. If we have 4/12 plus 8/12, we get 12/12 and 1 whole added on to it. And the 12/12 by itself is enough to make 1 whole. So 1 from the 12/12 plus the 1 is 2 whole. That's our best answer there. D, we have thirds and 6 for our denominators. And if we do the 6, we know 3 can turn into a 6. So we've got 1, and I'm going to skip a step because I think the kids are good at this. 1 and 4/6 is the same as 2/3, plus 1/6 is enough to make 1 whole, and 4/6 plus 5/6. 4 plus 1 is 5, 6. That's a good answer. Can't simplify. Tenths and fourths. 10, 4 cannot make a 10. That's not any of the full. I'm writing these out, even though I'm trying to train the kids not to do that. 4 times 3 is 12. It goes over that. So the next one is 20 for the 10. And I know 4 times 5 is 20. That's the first one they have that is the same. So, boy, this is so blurry on my screen. I think it could be 3/10. It could be, I'm going to go with 3/10. So that means that the 3 is going to turn into a 6/20. And this is going to change to 20ths also. 4 times 5 was 20. So that was times 5. So we got to do 1 times 5 is 5/20. So 6/20 minus 5/20 is 1/20. Now I think it would also be 5/10, which would turn into 10/20 instead. So if I got the wrong numerator there, let's do this. Minus 5/20. So depending on which number it is, and I have the original copy on my desk, but I don't have it here in front of me, and that's simplified as 1/4. Now this one, I suggested to the students, remember clock fractions. So 1/4 of an hour is 15 minutes. So we've talked about how that could be 15/60. So 4 and 30/60 plus 1 and 15/60. Let's add the whole numbers first. You get 5 whole. And you get 45 when you combine 30 plus 15/60. Now that's 45 minutes out of an hour. So 45 minutes is 3/4 of an hour. So we can switch it to that. Okay, so I just went back to my book and checked. It is 5/10. So it is not this one through here. It would be 10/20. 5/20 is 5/20 here. which is equivalent to 1/4. So myself a quick check. All right, find 2 different ways to show that 1/3 plus 1/4 is not equal to 2/7. Now, 2/7, to me, one simple way to do it, and there's lots of ways. So if you got another way, come tell us tomorrow in school. But 2/7 is less than a half. Half of 7 is 3.5. So if we kind of write an equivalent fraction of 1/2, this 2/7 is less. And right here, 1/3 plus 1/4. So an easy way to do it, if you think about our clock fraction, 1/3 of an hour is 20 minutes, and 1/4 of an hour is 15 minutes. So that's 35 minutes. So we could write that as 35/60, which is more than half of the hour. So if that is a fraction, that it's what it's equal to. 2/7 is less than a half. 35/60 is more than a half. They're not equal. You could do common denominators. I removed this underneath there, and 3 and 4 denominator they have in common. They have 12s in their multiplication facts. So we can change these both to 12ths. And think about the ratio table. That's times 4. We have to multiply the 1 times 4. It's 4 12ths. And 4 times 3 got 3 times larger. So 1 times 3 is 3. 4 12ths plus 3 12ths is 7 12ths. And again, that's a little bit more than half. 6 12ths is half. 2/7 is not enough to make a half. There's a bunch of ways to do this. I'll stop there. So if you have another way, share it in class tomorrow. Page 28. Dan's got homework for half an hour. He's cleaning his room for 1/3 of an hour. What fraction of an hour must he do homework and clean before he can play? So again, you could do clock fractions. 1/2 of an hour is 30 minutes out of 60, and 1/3 of an hour is 20 minutes out of 60. So if we combine those two parts of an hour, 20 and 30 is 50 minutes out of 60, and they're divisible by 10. You divide those both by 10 and get 5/6 of an hour. And it says what fraction of an hour? So we could do minutes, which is 50 minutes, but I would go with 50 60ths or 5/6 are both very good answers. You might do 12ths. 1/2 an hour is 6 out of the 12 parts on an hour hand, and 1/3 puts us at 4 on the hour hand out of 12. 6 12ths plus 4 12ths is 10 12ths, and these are all equivalent to each other. 5/6, 50 60 is 10 12ths. Danielle found a nickel on the playground. She also found 20 cents on the sidewalk. How much money is it? Well, a nickel, you could write like this. We got plus the 20 cents, so that's equivalent to 25 cents. Put the dollar sign in there. What fraction of a dollar did she find? Well, we could put 25 out of 100 cents. It's pennies. But I think most of you will say like 1/4 of a dollar. And then our final challenge question, Skura Mariah is babysitting. She works a bunch of days, and that's what we have here, and she's getting $6 per hour. Now, one way to do this is to figure out how much she got paid each day. So 2 hours, which you see here, $12, and $6 for half an hour would be half of that, so it would be another 3. So that's $15. 3 times 6 is 18, plus the other 3 for half an hour is $21. 2 hours times 6 is 12 hours, and 1/4 of $6. So 1/4 of 6. So you got to break $6 into 4 equal parts. So I'll do a little visual here. So if you cut it in half, that would be 3 and 3. And if you cut that in half, I'm going to do one of those. So 1/4 of an hour is $1.50. So let's add that up here. So now we're up to, move this, $13.50 for that day. That's a weird amount. And 3 hours is 18. And 2/3. Now I'm going to figure out what's 1/3 of 6 before I do 2/3. So 1/3 of it is $2. So 2/3 would be $4. So if you got another $4 there, that's 22. And if we combine those together, I'm going to do this out loud. We got 15 and 21 is 36. Plus the 10 right there is 46. Plus 350 is 49.50. Plus 22 more dollars is going to be 61. Nope, sorry. Trying to go out of order here. 50 cents. That's $11. And then we've got $71.50. That's one way to do it. The other way is to take and add up all the hours. I think this is a little bit more work. You got 2 plus 3 is 5, 6, 7, 10 hours. And then you've got to combine all of these. You got 2 half an hours, there's another hour. And then 1/4 plus 2/3. So you got to combine those two and add it to the hour. You got 11 hours so far. Plus, I know that's 8/12. And the 1/4 is 3/12. That's 11 12, which I think is going to be harder to do than what I did. I think the easiest way is to figure out how much per day, which I think those are the right amounts there. We got them. Combine them together, you're at $71.50. Have a great night. See everybody tomorrow.